This is Chris Hansen.
Chad doing Rip City Radio here.
This is Jamie Hudson.
This is TJ Hooshmanzada.
And I'm going to let y'all know something.
You're listening to
It Just Makes Sense.
It Just Makes Sense.
We are sports. We are nostalgia. We are pop culture. And we're funny sometimes.
I think overall we're just a good time.
They thought we couldn't do it. But guess what?
We're back.
Podcasts are free, and we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
We never knew what we were doing in the first place.
Yeah, that is a good point. Kind of looks like some of them are just like Winnie the Pooh in it. What is happening?
We're like a terrible version of ridiculousness.
I agree.
Who are these idiots? I am attached to the two of you losers. I need you guys to carry your fucking weight.
You win 2 bets. It's not necessarily like bad. I'm more just annoyed.
Who are we
Speaking of
to
losing,
call people out on losing bets, okay? We suck at betting.
This season is just going to be a ton of electricity, a lot of fireworks.
Eat your words. Eat your words, Peter. If this is any indicator of how season 4 is going to be, then we're on the right
Best
track.
season yet.
Yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't put the pieces
I thought
together.
for a second, I'm not going to make fun of him. It's simple problem solving.
Dude,
here.
you make fun of the less fortunate all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah,
Mom
I do.
always said alligators are angry because they ain't got no toothbrush.
That's not the line.
What is the line?
Because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
They got all them teeth and no toothbrush. I mean, they would still be mad. They're still mad because they don't have their toothbrush.
But the thing is, they could just use a normal toothbrush.
You know what I was just thinking earlier?
It's the hand in the opposable thumb situation.
Mm-hmm.
Their
While
arms
I
aren't long
was taking
enough.
a shit earlier, this dawned on me. I just started watching The League, which is a show in like 2009 to 2015, I guess.
Yeah, we're aware.
I don't know if everyone is. Like, I didn't know what years they were playing. But obviously, even though it's a TV show, there's a lot of real things that are very relatable when you're playing fantasy football with friends. Mm-hmm. And they are fucking mean to each other. I mean, it's beyond talking shit. It's personal and all that. And I'm like, there's something about that that's fun. And then they get really intense. And then I realized, I'm like, we can't even scratch the surface with this league that we're in.
We can't rock the boat too much.
Because the one time it was tested, I mean, people...
It was immediately shut down.
Yeah, people just like...
I do this for fun.
People took it personal.
Oh, I can't put that. I was mocking Jared there. Oops.
Yeah, but it's like, you can't talk shit to Braxton because he has people fighting his battles for him. And that shit. It's like, you can't even talk shit.
We should be able to talk shit.
I think that you can talk shit.
But it becomes...
But the fact of the matter is that when this league was started, it was Jera and Naoko's idea to do something fun and lighthearted. They didn't want it to be too intense. And I was like, no.
Won't you say it was intense the first season, though? There was a lot of shit talking the first season.
By you guys. You got to understand there's shit talking going on.
They need to
amongst
evolve.
the people that they welcome into this idea, and they stand on the sideline and watch it all go down. And then when they get together and talk about it, they all say, those guys are fucking nuts. It makes me uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know, man.
Because they don't know. They don't know anybody well enough to decipher. Are they being serious?
You know what, though? I think that we know each other well enough now. We've done a wedding together.
But
we've broken bread.
I'm just saying.
One of the meanest characters in the league is the wife. She is name-calling everyone. She is the most intense person in that fucking league.
Well, join her league then.
See, this is what the commissioner always says. You like it?
And then when I give anything back, I give anything back, then it's the commissioner, blah, 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 blah. And
now it's the committee.
It's a lose situation. That's why That's why I don't. It's not a joking matter.
It's not a joking.
No, I don't joke around no more.
He's not a joker.
No.
Well, you know who is a big jokester is Mr. Brian Kelly of the LSU Tigers. He had this. So I botched a joke at the beginning of the show. However, Brian Kelly really geared up for this one. They played South Carolina this past weekend, I think. And so he dropped this on everyone.
All right, we'll see you in Columbia. Bring your Columbia jackets. That was a joke.
Is Columbia sportswear a nationwide thing?
I think it is. Yeah.
Really? It's not a Northwest thing like Patagonia and all that shit?
No,
so it's definitely an international
bring your
brand.
Columbia jackets. It's a joke.
It's timing. I mean, you can relate.
Would you rather me tell you jokes or him, though?
I'd rather neither.
Yeah, we do the hypotheticals.
Leave
all
it
the
for a
time.
sec. Does he kind
He's
of
got a lot more money than you, Pete.
Does he kind of resemble?
I'll hang out with him.
He might buy a dinner.
Does he kind of resemble Sean Payton?
A little bit.
With the visors.
He could be Sean Payton's dad.
He looks kind of like Sean Payton. Suck a butt.
Bring your Columbia.
It's a joke.
All right, we'll see you in Columbia. Bring your Columbia jackets.
The little.
It was a joke.
Bring.
And then he waves them off. Like that were not funny.
He rushed it. Gotta let it.
I just don't know.
In.
I don't understand the joke. I guess because Columbia is not from Columbia, South Carolina, or
not
whatever.
at all.
I don't think he was trying to tie that. I think he was just name.
Hey, these are the
coincidence.
Yeah.
same words. Fuck off.
Well, anyway. Coming out of this weekend, I wanted to address something that changed my life, and that was Braxton's first brisket. Braxton smoked his first brisket this weekend, and it was delicious.
I wouldn't know.
It was so good. Did you never go and pick it up?
No, he expected me to bring it to him.
Really? You never? No.
He forgot.
Can I have his portion? I'll still eat.
I'm gonna give it to him when he drops me off tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, take my portion. See what that does to you.
It was so good, though. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Better than any brisket you've made?
Oh,
here we go.
No, I mean, like, I've only made like 2 or 3 briskets.
No, you haven't, Peter. You've made more than 3.
Okay, 4.
You've
not
made
that
like
many.
5 or 6.
Okay, but still not enough to where I feel good about it. Like the second or third one, I absolutely.
I think I've only had 1 of your briskets.
I'm pretty sure I've only done 3, maybe 4.
I
would have taken photos. I'm going to type in brisket into my
and
phone, and then we'll find out.
We've been friends for a long time, and I've only had 1.
Well, the first one was 2015, so you wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
That was the grill one. There's no smoker, so that's 1. You made 2, or that was at Borthwick. You've made 3 at Burridge.
3 at Burridge?
And you've made 3 here.
What?
No, I haven't.
No.
No, you have.
We'll find this out. I'll take pictures. Apple's so good at finding stuff. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
Because I would have taken a photo every
Yeah.
single time. So, I think you're wrong.
Either way, if you claim that you're at 4, that's enough of a measuring stick. You're 4 to his 1.
I think the first brisket that I ever made was probably the best one. The other ones I've probably overthought. I should just try and keep it simple. And I think I tried to overthink how I did the brisket. And, you always I get super nervous around the 140, 150, the plateau. And it just, I'm worried it's going to get, too dry. And so, one time I just, injected it with a bunch of stuff. It made it fall totally
What's your
apart.
measure that the first one was the best?
My measure? Fear. It was a fear brisket. That's why it tasted so good. I honestly think that some of the best meat is the stuff that scares you when you cook it. Because, whenever, my barbecue light's on fire, I get a little grease fire going, always the best steaks. Those are, and you know what? The flames are coming up at me. I'm assuming I'm going to light my house on fire again. It's always the best ones. So, yeah, fear meat is probably the best meat.
I'm saying the first one, you're claiming that it was the best. Did you get feedback that it was the best?
I think you've told me that was my best one.
See, that's the point. What if I was lying this whole time?
I mean, you could have been lying, but I mean,
Something to
I
think
have
about.
pictures that prove that you were trying to molest me after eating that. So that was pretty good. And then, then you talked about how you made a little breakfast burrito the next morning with the brisket. And what else was in it? And you weren't even like that hungover, like whatever. You just like loaded it all up. It's a very much a hangover burrito that you made.
Yeah, it was brisket, potatoes, eggs, mac and cheese, and hot sauce.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese is a little
I kind of felt disgusting afterwards, but I was proud.
You should be proud.
Yeah.
You should be very proud. And I did set you up a little bit because I wanted to talk about breakfast burritos in the context of college football. There was this...
that happens all the time.
There was a sideline reporter. I don't know her name. She was on CBS broadcast. It was Arkansas versus, I don't know, someone. Maybe it was Alabama this weekend. Either way, Arkansas was playing.
That's this coming Saturday.
Okay, cool. So Arkansas was playing. They had an early game. All these fans are waiting early. So one of the things that the head basketball coach did, Eric Musselman, is that his name? Yeah. So he bought all these breakfast burritos for kids, and they were handing them out to some of the first people who showed up. Well, anyways, the sideline reporter got her hands on some of the breakfast burritos, and here's what happened.
Head coach of the basketball team, Eric Musselman, getting involved as well. Slinging about 1,000 of these breakfast burritos out to these hungry students getting their day off, right, guys?
Burrito banana.
True. She domed that kid.
Domed that kid.
And she picked up another one right away.
She picked up another one. So she takes it. For those who are not watching on the YouTube, she takes it and she absolutely flings it, a dart, right into the second row of the student section.
That kid's so drunk he didn't feel it.
Nails someone right in the head. Here we go again.
These breakfast burritos out to these hungry students getting their day off, right, guys?
Burrito banana.
True. She domed that kid.
I love the commentary by the
She
kid
picks up
recording it,
another
too.
one right away. Probably hit the same dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she got incredible
Same
aim.
spot.
Incredible aim. Incredible aim.
Jeez.
So the brisket was amazing. One thing that I thought was interesting about food that you love and then food that you hate, and this was a story that I came across this past weekend, was an interview that Al Michaels did, a sit-down interview. And it was astonishing to hear what he said in regards to how he eats on a day-to-day basis. And he's talking with Chris Wallace of CNN, and this is what he said in regards to his relationship with vegetables.
Is it true that you have never knowingly eaten a vegetable in your life?
That is true.
That is true.
I was born when my parents were 18 and my mother hadn't even read Dr. Spock at that point. So she just let me have the run of the course. And I always pushed the vegetables away. To this day, no. And I guess what I've proven, Chris, is that man does not need vegetables to survive.
But is it just possible that you would like, I'm thinking of one of the more non-objectionable vegetables, a carrot?
Oh, please. Please.
A carrot?
No, a carrot. No, that's an objectionable vegetable.
I mean, really? What? I mean, how would you know? You've never tasted it.
I look at it. I just don't even like the look of it. And I surmise what it might taste like in terms of the texture of it. I think a lot of it probably has to do, it just doesn't look like something that would go down well.
The man makes
I don't disagree with him.
$15 million a year. Apparently has a steak dinner given to him every halftime of Thursday Night Football or whatever game that he's calling, and claims that he has never knowingly
Like not
eaten a
even
vegetable.
mashed potatoes?
Right. See, this is the thing. He probably has eaten mashed potatoes. He's probably eaten French fries. He's probably like had a soup that has it like emulsified in there. So knowingly, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sure that his wife has been sneaking vegetables into his smoothies for like decades.
Well, and
just to make sure that
he's got to be
stays
taking
alive.
some kind of supplement or something.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he
Why?
doesn't have heart problems.
You think not having vegetables would give you heart problems?
I think just
Gonna
eating
go ahead and
meat
assume.
would create
Him not eating
heart
vegetables
problems.
doesn't mean he's only eating meat, though. Probably eats fruits.
That's true. Maybe
Maybe he
he's a
does.
big
They were not
mango
talking.
guy.
About, he was just against the very phallic carrot.
Grains.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I don't think vegetables. I don't eat a lot of vegetables, so I'm fine.
But you will eat vegetables. I think.
Some.
Like you just took a very like professional career broadcaster, right? And you resorted him to a 5-year-old in about 2 seconds. It was oh no, carrots.
Yeah, but like a green bean
up,
casserole is one of my favorite things in life.
Yeah, you're not gonna eat like yams and like the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows. Come on,
Or like
give me a break.
A good,
just with a ton of brown sugar, it makes the world better.
just like butter, ton of garlic, some asparagus,
a
next
baked
to
potato.
a baked potato.
Potato.
How is this different than shoving your beliefs down somebody's throat?
Shove a carrot down.
Because
your
you
throat.
like something that means he needs to like it too because it's good for him.
It's medically recommended.
Says who?
Everyone.
Most importantly, medical people.
Wouldn't you say that I probably eat the unhealthiest over you two?
Probably.
And who has the best medical fucking record out of us three?
That's what you say.
I mean, I have documents to prove that.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'm just saying.
I've
Yeah,
never. No.
I know that I'm not a very healthy person.
Yeah, and
Have you
health-
seen his
my health
medication
isn't
box?
great.
Yeah, and according to
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, and according to people on
You've
TikTok,
been alive
we
long
need to-
enough.
We need to be eating more salads and putting down the starry.
Yeah.
Well, no thanks. You know what I would rather do? I saw this video as well on the TikToks, and there was this guy who was talking about inedible objects that look delicious. And I want you guys to hear
Hats.
I want you guys to hear his list.
Pillows.
And then we can talk about it on the other side.
Here are
Wait for
edible
it.
objects that I'm really tempted just to take a huge bite out of. We're going to start with the agreeable ones and then get more weird. Let's start with the obvious one. Come on now. I'll take a bite out that shit.
The Tide Pods.
I took a bite out of this shit when I was
Yes.
little. If you saw
The
the bite
Nerf
ball,
ball.
that
Nerf
was
football.
me.
Yeah.
On this specific colorway too. Not gonna lie, I took a bite out of this
Yeah.
one when I
I
was
feel like
little,
what I'm
too.
about to say he's going to have on the
This
list.
big sponge you get from like Home Depot is real
I have.
tempting. They're called packing peanuts for a reason.
No.
Don't you just want to take a
Packing,
handful of them and just, you feel me? I swear the fake grapes that they use for decoration look better than the real ones. I know you're not even supposed to breathe this in, but damn, it looked like it tastes like cotton candy. and
Insulation.
rainbow. Y'all can't tell me you haven't been showering and want to take a bite out the bar of soap. I feel like I definitely ate some
Yeah,
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
when I was
Yeah,
little.
I mean, who hasn't eaten
This
Play-Doh?
stuff that they use to cover the holes in the walls looks delicious. Colored aquarium gravel. This colorful mosaic glass that they use in like the windows of churches and stuff.
Crunchy mosaic
Looks
glass.
absolutely delicious. If it
Gosh,
was
he's
possible,
not
I'd
wrong.
take a bite out of one of these dark wooden tables.
No.
He didn't have my number one.
What is your number one?
Guess my number one. I thought he was going to have it on the list.
I've got a couple.
I don't know. A pillow.
Styrofoam.
Styrofoam, sure.
I eat styrofoam all the time.
Well, I
Just
think
shoot
the
it like a little
the
cut.
noodle is pretty much
The pool
styrofoam.
noodle, yeah. And
Well, there's a
packing
lot of
peanuts.
similar ones like packing peanuts and that, but like styrofoam cup, that turns into I decimate the cup when I'm done
Yeah.
with what's in there.
Do you have something that comes to mind? Because there's two things that come to mind for me that are inedible but look delicious.
Cock.
Sure.
Like CAULK.
Yeah, caulk. Yeah, a hard L. The first one, which was kind of in the same vein as the fake grapes, I think that Orbeez look really fun to chew on.
Oh, totally agree.
Orbeez look like so much
Totally.
Dude,
fun.
we've
to
talked about ordering
mouth.
Arby's so much, but we haven't pulled the trigger.
Oh, yeah, Arby's is pretty inedible. You're right. The second one is I just kind of want to suck on The smelly markers. Yeah, there you go. The smelly markers that smell like
yeah.
orange
That get
and
you high.
blueberry
Yes.
and all those things. Those are super, I would imagine, inedible. But those were the first two things that came to mind for me.
But mostly because of the dream of sucking something.
Of course. Got to suck it all out.
Totes. You? Also a sucker?
You know, I always wanted to not necessarily eat, but like explode in my mouth.
Yeah. Yep.
The little you know, the things that you could like put your finger into and it was like a
Little
glittery-
people?
Oh, yeah. One of those things that slips through your
Yes,
hands.
yes.
Yeah.
The silly putty?
No.
No, slippery
And
hand
at
toy.
one point you thought about putting your dick in it, maybe?
Yeah, you did.
Thought about.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shit that bounces.
No.
The water snake. The water wiggler toy. It's these things. Yeah. The water wigglers.
Yes.
Those were great.
Order one. It's $14.99.
Those are pretty sweet.
Do the $7.99.
You want to take a little bite out of that? Get a little gush?
Yeah, but I knew that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Well, at official IJMS, let us know what your inedible objects were that you maybe did try when you were.
Or give the audience your Venmo. They can send us money. We'll order the little
and we'll
thing.
try the things.
And then we'll explode it in Braxton's mouth.
Or just like, you go into Michael's, like the craft store.
Oh yeah, the what you put the fake flowers in.
The fake flowers in that
but
holds
that's
the
just
water.
another
That's
kind
another
of
styrofoam.
Another styrofoam. But just like potpourri, it smells so
Oh,
nice. You
yeah.
kind of want to chew on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and get the nice little floral everything. The smell of Michael's is something I would chew on.
I went into Hobby Lobby the other night.
Schmobby,
and
schmobby.
Great
wow,
store.
The smell is so nostalgic.
What about this, this skin of little people?
We're not playing the same game here tonight.
But
I don't
you
know.
know
if
it's
we're
not as tender as normal size humans.
Okay. Do you
Might
want to
be a
eat the
little
hat?
tough.
Can we go back to eating the hat? I liked that conversation.
I will say,
better.
when I went to Hobby Lobby the other night, Jara had some things that she wanted to get to do, like a craft with her friend. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go just wander around. And just like when I was 12 years old with my mom, I ended up right in front of the model rockets. And I was like, it'd be sick to see this go 810 feet in the air.
Yes, absolutely. Those
It would
things
be
are sick. So awesome.
Yeah.
Sick lit.
Have you ever built a model rocket?
They're pretty sweet.
I have.
I did in elementary
No, you
school.
haven't.
Then why would you ask? If you're not going to believe my answer.
Okay, tell me about your experience.
I didn't really build it. I watched somebody build it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then I
It's big.
destroyed it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's a big voyeur. Also, candles. It depends on the candle. But
Ooh,
I
yeah.
would definitely mow on a candle
Yes.
or two.
Do you
Agreed.
swallow it? Or you just chew it up and spit it out?
I mean, the whole point is, I guess, to eat it.
Because you're non-committal?
Sure. Yeah. We're not going to break into psychology about the inedible things that I want to eat tonight. Juan. What about pants? Would you ever want to would you ever want to eat pants? Specifically, these very speaking of skin from a second ago, these very
The fuck is that guy wearing?
skin-looking pants from Iowa State this past weekend. I
What
don't know
the
if you guys
fuck?
caught this. This was their outfit for Iowa State this past weekend. They
That got me.
look naked.
The white shirts really throw you off.
It kind of looks like some of them are just like Winnie the Pooh in it.
That's a great look.
It does. If you haven't seen it, we'll link it on our socials as well. But for those who saw it on the YouTubes, the final thing before we talk about sports was something that has taken over the social medias, especially
Is it a video?
in the sports world. It is a lot of social media people around the NFL are going around and asking with their tiny little microphones, how many unread emails and how many unread text messages do you have?
Yeah, I saw that with the USC basketball team. It's insane.
So this one that I'm going to play is for the San Francisco 49ers. It starts on Brock Purdy. And the question was, how many unread emails
I
do you
have 10,994 unread emails.
144. I got to learn how to unsubscribe.
I have currently 62,000 unread emails.
60,000?
62 of them bad boys.
You're insane, man. That's insane. I got 14,363 unread.
You're insane too.
32,450.
2,468.
Got 10,725.
14.
Email right here. Look at the bottom.
26,671.
21,000.
The important ones I get to, the spam ones I just ignore and just keep pushing. So.
Over 10,000. Zero. I have 0 red dots on my phone.
So which do you guys fall into? Do you fall into
None.
the 62,000 or the 0? You're a 0
I
guy.
clear that out. I clear everything out. I have 0 red dots on my phone. On everything.
Yeah, 0 texts.
0. I don't leave anything unread. I delete it or I read it.
What about you, Brax?
I have more than any of those players named.
Really?
I'll show you.
So I had...
How does that not drive you guys crazy?
I had 4,600 emails, and I check all of my texts.
But how do you know, like, if you have an important email that you're not reading?
Okay. So I have 2 email addresses.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the lower one first. The number is at the top.
The lower one first is 16,698.
Okay. And
4 times my amount. So that was like, what, your backup account?
Mm-hmm.
And your number one, your main account, you have 83,190 unread emails.
So how do you know when you have an
so
important
together,
email?
close to 100,000.
Yeah.
How do you know when you have an important email?
I've had both
You never
those.
do.
I've had both those emails for like one I've had for like 10 years. The other one I've had for like 18.
So I'll check my email every day, and I just
Yeah.
won't clear it out. So like I
Same.
will look and I'll say like, okay, on average, say it's been 12 hours since I checked my email. I've gotten probably like 10 to 20 emails in that time period. So like, and I can see those 10 to 20, and I just like don't then bother to go and clear those out.
Yeah, I can't.
So I
do
just
that.
say like, okay, I don't need that. Bye bye. Like,
Yeah, I just.
Are you just like could be clearing your inbox and then leave all the junk and whatever?
So when you, at least in Gmail, you can only delete 50 at a time.
right. And even sometimes they say, oh, you could batch delete like more than the 50, but it doesn't always work. And
Yeah.
so then it's just there.
And I check my email every day, multiple times a day. So I know what was the, like,
Yeah.
I know when I'm looking at the same emails again.
I do that too, but I clear it because
So-
I can't
Yeah.
have it on there.
So
I'm not wasting
I had
that
about
time.
a similar amount of emails around this time, like 2 weeks ago. So I was on the plane flying back from San Francisco, or I was at the airport, something where I was able to clear it out. And I got it down to about 2,700. And then now it's back up to 4,600. That just like shows like how much in such a small period of time you're just getting spam.
Yeah, but
so
I
at that point you just need
understand
like a whole new.
when you're in the thousands and you're saying I'm not wasting that time. I get it, but I don't let it get to that point. Like I have one email that's I've had longer than you've had your email. Like that gets 90% junk, and then I have a main one that each one of those emails I get probably 70 to 80 a day, and I just clear them. I clear Snapchat. I
Do you
clear
view
social
'em?
media. Yeah, I view them. I check my email every 10 minutes and I clear them. Clear text.
Are you just that anal about it? Like
Yeah.
you're literally looking every 10 minutes?
Yeah.
It's like
I'm not
part
li-
of your rotation of like you go
Yeah.
to the bathroom, you check your email, you clear it out. And then,
Yep. I don't
Yeah.
let it get to where it stacks up.
Is it like an anxiety thing? Like you just don't want the anxiety of it, or is
Maybe
it
my
like habitual?
my OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons, obviously it wasn't always this way, but recently I've realized how much information, like I have for work, like email trackers and things like that. So I know when people open them, I know where they're opening them. I know what time, how many times. There is software out there and available to people who send these kinds of blast emails that they gain a lot from you opening it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, don't do that unless I'm sincerely interested.
There are certain things like Redfin, the real estate website, where the more you open them, the more they send you stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will sometimes get in a little house hunting mood or whatever with no intention to buy, but then now all of a sudden I'm getting 5x the amount of Redfin stuff that I actually need.
I don't know how to label it. I don't know if it's OCD or anxiety that I don't like to let it stack up. But same with like text messages. If I read something and I don't respond right away, I'll be thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always give people shit for not responding to text. And
you are a very good
I refuse to be that guy. If I let it pass, like if I let it go for a day, it's because I didn't know what to say yet, or I didn't care to respond right away, but I will respond. I have never left a text unread. I will respond to it. I fucking hate people that don't respond because I know that you have your phone majority of the day and you've seen it and you just go, and I'll put it down.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing, because I'm with you on everything else in my phone. I do not like the red bubbles. I want to close them out. It's, creates a sense of accomplishment in some way. I do not like them. So I turn the red bubbles off for Gmail specifically because every day I would look at it and it says 90,000 or whatever. And it's like, I cannot.
That is over. Yeah, I cannot even begin.
So I turn that one off, but I'm the same way. I cannot have an unread message.
Out of respect, I respond to texts and emails because there's one big portion of my life that I wouldn't say I have no control over, but it's just the way I am, and it's already disrespectful to people. I'm always fucking late. I'm always late to everything. I feel like that one major thing is enough. I have to respond to text messages.
I have to be good on that.
Emails.
Yeah, I have to, I can't let everything fall through. Okay, so we all use computers for our jobs. Neither of you really use computers for personal use, right? You're not you're usually browsing your phone rather than your computer.
I've not used a laptop until my new job.
Until your new job, yeah.
2 weeks.
But then at your desk job, you had a computer and everything up. Yeah. So I am curious, generally how many tabs you guys have open, kind of in the same thing as well. Are you guys you seem like a person who wouldn't want more than 3 tabs open.
I have 4 max.
Yeah, and
I'll go
have 40.
I'll go 6 max.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw your computer today, and that's fucking
right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, couldn't 13, name every single one.
Yeah, because they're cut off. They're so small.
19. So there's 19 open now. I have work ones. This one I was compressing.
You can't click on them. Could you just look at them with their badges? Don't hover over them. Just look at them. You couldn't tell me every single one.
Let's see. This is something about Greenville, North Carolina. That was a link of a song that I sent someone earlier.
You just skipped 4.
Yeah, I don't know what this one is. It's Shutterstock.
Why can't you, if you sent a song or a photo, why can't you just close it after?
I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah, I found myself doing that today. I logged in this morning, and I had 5 tabs open, and I immediately scanned through them. I'm like, what do I not need up right now? And I just close it. And for the rest of the day, I had 3 to 4. And the 4th one was bothering me. I kept closing it, and I'm like, well, I just keep fucking opening this. So I'm going to leave it up. Mm-hmm. I'm doing 4 max, maybe 3.
And that, because at work, sometimes you have to have more than 6. And that's why I have 2 screens.
Yeah.
Is so I can have 6 here, 6 there.
Yeah, I've got a lot. And this should be no shock to you either, because when you look at my main screen here as well, I do a lot of screen grabs for work. See, I can't even
it reminds me of purgatory.
I can't even get to it because I have so many damn things open. All right, you guys want to watch a Roanoke commercial? Hold
No.
on. All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, the moment has passed
All right.
because
All right,
now,
Deer Deck.
Now there it is.
Roberto Deer Deck.
Roberto.
So there it is.
You baby.
Hey, baby. So many things on this desktop here.
How does that look at that? That would drive me fucking nuts. I would rip that computer in half and toss it. Oh yeah, let's put
honestly.
I'll put a background. My screensaver is my dog, and I can't see him.
Is concerning.
Is it?
Yeah, dude.
Like
you can't see your screensaver because you have all this shit up.
I can't see it at all. I mean, at some point, I have used all of this, and I've just I just like don't go in inventory.
Like you see that, and it's like, are you okay?
You saw the pillbox.
You need to seek help.
You saw the
friend.
pillbox.
In the
that is maniacal.
In the non-digital world, this is the equivalent of your office with your family's photos hanging, but you have Post-its over them. Reminder notes.
That is maniacal.
Yeah, I know. Well, I am curious, at official IJMS people who, how many texts, how many emails, how many tabs, all those things we want to know. So
see what the TikTok world has to say.
I am very, very curious. So,
that'd be a great TikTok to throw out there.
We have been belaboring the point on sports. We've touched on sports. You know, a sideline reporter doming some dude with a breakfast burrito. Brian Kelly's failed jokes. Iowa State's winning.
It's because we can't win a fucking bet.
I know.
Here's what it is.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. I'm done being dragged down for my winning picks.
This is like the first week that I've lost.
Because I am like attached to the two of you losers.
Shut up.
Here I am making winning picks, and somehow I am just being fucking dragged down on the ground, and we can't win a fucking bet. I need you guys to carry your fucking weight.
You win 2 bets. You're
I know.
You're like
locks.
You're 2-99.
Okay, 99 is a little absurd.
Yeah. I know you're feeling yourself after this weekend. So anytime you hear a bet from us, fade us because we cannot seem to get it right.
Except this week.
Except this week. We're going to get it right this week.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our locks of the week at the end of the episode. Juan, you are up a couple $100. Is that right? Or did you squander it? Because you had 2 bets that hit over 100. Like 15 hits 200 or something.
At least evened up for the season.
Here's the thing. I could lose, and we'll go by weeks, not the amount of bets, because I place a lot of bets. I can lose 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But the way that I place my bets, if I win the following week, it's in green because of $5 bets that win $200. So this last week, I had a $5 bet win 145, and then I had a $5 bet win 106. So on a $10 bet, I win 250. That covered everything this season that I have
that you've lost
because it's 5 and 10, 5 and 10 everywhere.
Yeah.
So that covered it. But
I think I was up $2 this week after all was said and done.
To me, that's a victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did well the first 2 weeks, and I think I'm back to even.
Steadily decline.
Well, I have $26, so getting back.
This past week, outside of the Dolphins game, there were a lot of very close games. A lot of like plus 130s, minus 180. You know, like you did not have a ton of crazy games that were, you know, shoe-ins or whatever.
Yeah.
You had the Bills. We'll talk about the Bills in a second, but I did, you know, we're talking about odds and locks and everything. There was this crazy one that hit this week. I don't know how much this person put down, but they put money on 3 players to each rush for over 100 yards. It was David Montgomery at plus 165, Breece Hall at plus 500, and Devon Achane at plus 700. That 3-pick parlay at plus 12,620 cashed. And I don't know how it doesn't. The screenshot does not say
He
how much they put
he
on
put
that.
$50 on it.
Did he put 50?
And it won 6,500.
Nice.
That's what. And he recorded himself watching it. And the last leg was Breece Hall, and it was that huge break where he had like an 80 yard. Yeah. And it was all cool until he started screaming, "I'm him." And then I'm like, yeah, I hope you lose all this fucking money.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. You know, those are great bets, though, because I'm not saying they're better odds of, like, better chances of you winning, but if you take what would feel safe, like, let's take this person to score anytime and then just, like, link 4 or 5 of those together, it almost seems better to do 2 or 3 of a big gain, like 3 guys to score 2 touchdowns each. That would be in that same, like, odds, like plus 10,000 or something like that. And you never know, like, receivers are putting up 180 yards, 230 yards. Like, you never know what's going to hit. But it seems like it's a shorter parlay with big possible
with bigger odds.
Yeah.
Well,
what the fuck do I know?
There was one better. You know, I'm gonna dance back to college real quick because there was one better who all he needed was the Miami Hurricanes
idiots
to win. They were minus 1450 when he placed this bet. It was. He added it to a parlay that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It had 12 different college football picks, all that cashed. All that were like, the craziest one that he had was like minus 172, and that was for UCLA money line over Washington State. But, you know, there was like Michigan money line over Minnesota was at like minus 1250 when he placed this bet. So, I mean, like, all in all, at plus 549, $7,000 he had on this parlay would have cashed him $45,450 until Mario Cristobal.
That's a Mario blunder.
35 seconds on the clock, hands it off rather than takes a knee. They end up fumbling it, and then 3 plays later, Wake Forest or Georgia Tech goes down the field and scores the game-winning touchdown, which happens to not be the first time that Mario Cristobal has done this, as Oregon fans will remember, against Stanford. So
Mario blunder.
A Mario blunder indeed.
And Georgia Tech had no timeouts. They just marched right down.
It was like the second play.
Yeah.
The guy just ran ahead of the safeties.
And the worst part is it was because the running back had 99 yards and he wanted to get it to 100.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
The rationale? My gosh.
And that's such, like, as a coach, you got to just win the game. Winning the game is way more important. Like, however much this player begged to get a 100-yard game, just win the game.
Yeah. Incredibly laughable to have that happen to Mario Cristobal. The number 17 Miami Hurricanes as well. So, I mean, like, I don't know where they ended up.
They got to be out after that.
Out of the top 25?
Yeah.
College football, let's go with top 25. Excuse me.
I don't think you can kick him out from 17 on a close game. Like, I think it would be a bigger deal if they got blown out by an unranked team.
I bet they're
25 is where they dropped down to from 17. So, and I mean, just to think about, I don't know.
17. I thought you said 7.
No, 17. That would have been pretty brutal. But yeah, it's, I guess you reap what you sow, and good on.
They better go on a
Miami
fucking
Hurricanes
run
for
and
doing
not
that,
lose
so.
another game this season.
Let's see. Speaking of losing another game this season, we can turn our attention to the NFL, in which the first game of Sunday, the Buffalo Bills found their way into screwing Miguel out of a couple of parlays to start the morning. Never a good way to start you wake up.
I'm never betting on a 6:30 overseas game ever again.
Don't.
Because you wake up and
in a
it's
bad mood.
The only bet you take is the lunder. London under.
The Lunder.
Has it been under every time?
Yep.
I don't know. I've
the
had
jet lag.
Anytime touchdowns not hit, the Bills fucked me so bad on a money line and like a +3 bet that's tied to a lot of things, and the rest of them fucking hit. It was just the Bills.
Yeah, here's something that I didn't really consider, and I don't, you talk about the jet lag, is that this was the second consecutive week that the Jags played.
Yeah, they
in
stayed there
London.
all
They
week.
stayed.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, they didn't have
They're
to worry
adjusted.
about that. Yeah, for sure. And my stupid ass didn't realize that until I played. So I was like, oh, okay. I wake up, it's halftime. The Bills just score right going into halftime. They're gonna get the ball back. It's like 11-7 or something like that, 13-7, whatever it was. I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and put money on the Bills here. And then I got screwed on that one too. But yeah, it's just kind of like the Bills, once again, they do this whole, like, they ebb and they flow, and they ebb and they flow, and everyone was all down on them after week 1 when they lose to the Jets, and then they steamroll their way. Josh Allen is an MVP.
Bills are good, man. They're pretty good.
I don't think
they
losing
beat
to
Miami.
Jacksonville makes them bad.
No.
It's not losing to Jacksonville. It's being considered an elite team led by an elite quarterback, and you drop games like that. I don't give a...
Jacksonville is a playoff team.
I don't care. We can't keep coming up with reasons and excuses as to why they lost something because a team is decent or jet lag or whatever. It's fucking professional sports.
You get so emotional about it when they lose. It's like this is the NFL. Teams lose to unexpected teams all the time, and they're
true.
still very good. The Chiefs lost to the Jets last year, I'm pretty sure.
They did do that, yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't
so
mean
Shit happens.
Right, so then
They've also won a Super Bowl. What do the Bills prove?
But that all I'm saying is that doesn't make them all of a sudden a bad team.
But then
when they
Stephon
win,
Diggs is
but when they
equally
win, it's
mad.
like, oh man, they're fucking good. They're so good. Why is it so uneven?
Again,
You
think
can't get so
Jackson-
emotionally positive about it
Jackson,
when
no,
they win.
I'm not. I'm trying to stay level-headed and say they are a good team. This shit happens. They're still going to make the playoffs. They're still going to be good.
So who's better right now, Miami or the Bills? The Bills did beat them, but Miami now through 5 weeks has scored the most points out of any team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that's a hard decision to make. On this Sunday, Miami was better.
Yes,
the
were.
Sunday before, the Bills were better.
As the world turns.
Yes.
As the world turns.
Who are the Bills going to have to go through in the playoffs? Miami? Cincinnati, if they put it together?
I mean, potentially, if they're not a
Baltimore,
division winner,
Baltimore.
they're going to have to face a division winner. So,
Just overall in that conference, there's at least 3 or 4 teams they'd have to go through. Chargers, probably one of them, if they put it together. Cincinnati, Baltimore, Miami, and who else? Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely are going to. I mean, that's the
and
AFC,
Jacksonville
though.
maybe, or
There-
whomever, or Houston, or
Whoever's going to the playoffs in the AFC, it's a hard road to travel. There's no doubt about it.
One of the teams that will not be in there are the dumpster fire that are the New England Patriots. And hot garbage now after suffering, Bill Belichick suffering his worst home defeat right after he had suffered his worst road defeat. He has been outscored, what is it, like 69-0 or 69-3?
Yeah, not
Or
good.
in the last 2 games. Mac Jones is my new candidate for dumpster fire, right? So, I mean, maybe this will get him going now that I've gotten Justin Fields going. But
True.
Mac Jones looks very bad. The Patriots look very bad. And I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this after these back-to-back losses. I heard, Bill Belichick talk about how it's possible that he's just going to have to tear this whole thing down to build it back up. I'm wondering if you guys think that he should be the guy to do that, not just as coach, but I mean, he is a personnel decision maker, and whether or not we're kind of like beyond that era of guys who are just these incredible coaches. We've seen so many different failed experiments of coaches that all of a sudden get more power because they're trying to give them some sort of extra bargaining chip, and then it's just too much for one person to do. Your thoughts on all of that?
Well, first, it's you finally pick a white quarterback to call dumpster fire, so that's first thought. But I don't disagree that they look terrible. But the take on Bill, it's like Bill is still Bill
The GOAT.
Belichick.
Yeah.
2 years in a row that he's had quote unquote failed experiments rode with Mac Jones. It's 2 years, man. It's not like they've given him the reins and they've been sucking for 5 years. Like what they accomplished is fucking insane.
But Bill Belichick,
they've dominated the last 2 decades of us watching
but he has a
football.
losing record outside of having Tom Brady with him. He's only made it to the playoffs 2 times outside of having Tom Brady with him.
But it's not. Bill's not going to be the first person on the line to get cut. The process will go. Okay, Mac Jones, you're out of here. We're going to start Bailey Zappi or bring Kirk Cousins in or whatever. Then it's going to be okay. Who's the offensive coordinator? There's going to be steps that are taken where Bill's going to be able to ride this out for at least another 3 to 5 years. He'll probably retire, and he'll go off in the distance as the greatest ever.
And why is that even a point of argument? He's never done it without Tom Brady. No fucking shit. Neither has Tom. Neither has Andy Reid without Patrick Mahomes and who he had in Philly. It's like, yeah, you're not doing it by yourself. It's not tennis. So, yeah, he had Tom Brady for the better part of 2 fucking decades,
Correct.
and they beat everyone.
All I'm saying at this point is that since then, he has been anointed with all this player personnel decision-making. And
I think he's earned that.
You think so?
You disagree that he's earned that?
I'm just saying that, when it comes to, how much evaluation, how much time has to go into that, I think that, maybe you just separate that and you say, I'm going to focus on coaching. You worry about, what I like. Go and use that mental energy and hire someone to do that. It's called delegating, right? I mean, it's that's kind of the mark of good managers or people who can delegate correctly.
But that's you assuming that that's the problem. Is the problem he's
part of it's the
overwhelmed?
problem.
You think he's overwhelmed? That's why they failed for the last season and a half?
I mean, I'm curious about some of their decision-making.
Would you rather be in charge of Robert Kraft? He's too busy fucking masseuse.
Masseuse.
The masseuse. So, anyway, I'm just wondering if you just pull the reins back a little bit and just allow someone else to build the team. They know what you like. They know what you're going for. You remove yourself. You have at least
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I'm sure that I don't think they'll do it right away, but I'm sure as time goes on, if things still are a little bit shaky, that they'll say, hey, we're going to help you out, make the job easier for you. Whether he's happy about that or not, who knows? But I do think that it's going to be smart for the organization and for Bill to slowly, because, I mean, at some point, Boston and New England area is a very,
it's a tough fan base.
It's a tough fan base.
Sure.
And at some point, if you get too many years away from their expectations, which are Super Bowls that they've had for the last 2 decades, they're going to start calling for your head. And then it's too late for you to leave gracefully.
Yeah, no matter how much of a GOAT you are.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking him to Joe Paterno himself, which is be the figurehead, not up and die, Oh, not that part.
Terrible.
Yeah, you brought this on yourself.
What's wrong with the analogy? No,
that was a terrible analogy.
Why is that okay? Joe
there are 3 reasons why that's a terrible analogy.
Let's remove all of the other stuff here to the point where at the end of his career
he was controlling too much.
No, he gave up. He gave everything up.
Yes, Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno gave everything
yes,
up,
yes.
And he was the figurehead of the operation, where everyone else was. So, yes, I understand where I walked myself into there for a second. However, if we actually get down to the nitty-gritty of it, he was very much just the face of the franchise, but everyone else did everything else, clearly. But
I think overall
we can move past it and we can go back to Mac Jones.
They're too smart of an organization to let something like this continue past 3-4 years. Something will be done. But you got to give Bill a fucking break because overall,
I think he's earned it.
He's 17-3, and every year that he's been he's had way more successful years than than this season.
Maybe I'm hiring Matt Patricia and Joe Judge back at the same time was not the best.
Maybe
idea.
you bring the same energy you have for Bill for somebody like Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. Then we would be on an even playing field.
This is my battle tonight,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if Mac Jones, if that experiment is up for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think the best thing New England could do is scratch the whole fucking thing and just restart. Like imagine a Caleb
49ers did with Trey Lance, right? I mean,
Caleb Williams could go to fucking New England, just lose every fucking game. Get somebody like him, build around him, have a solid defense.
I don't
like
think
we're
his
used
pride
to.
would let him do that.
Bill?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I agree
Because it's a
I definitely no.
you are just stoking fires every
Yeah.
left and right
Jesus.
tonight. My goodness.
But no, I do think that he should definitely throw in Bailey Zappi or whoever. I don't think it's a terrible decision to go after Kirk. Get a veteran guy Vikings obviously want him gone. He's not playing very well for them. I'm sure would be more than willing to take that path with Bill Belichick.
I'm sure he would, but you would that move would make more sense. Getting somebody like Kirk who's on the second half of his career would make more sense if you had better players around him. You just had a quarterback that didn't perform. If you're building around someone, I wouldn't get an older quarterback. I would start everything from scratch and build around everybody young.
You could have Kirk for a year and a half. Kirk could retire at the end of next season. He doesn't got a lot of time left. So you're still saying, "Hey, we're going to rebuild when the time comes, but let's have this one push."
But why not be rebuild now? I mean, any team that's kind of looking at this operation, and especially in the AFC, where you just go, damn, like maybe this is just the time that we just decide to tear this back a little bit. If we don't find ourselves to be competitive or a championship type of team, there are plenty of other teams right now who are vying for that. Let's take a 3 to 4 year approach on this right now.
Yeah.
Because then we're going to get Patrick Mahomes 4 years older. He's still going to be freaking good, but like who knows what's going to happen with these other teams.
I
right?
think it's because the Patriots want to be able to keep Bill around and keep the team at a level where people won't complain and bitch. It makes more sense to get somebody who's older who can keep that image of the Patriots alive while Bill is there. I don't think Bill wants to rebuild.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to get a Caleb
But Greg
Williams.
Popovich did it in San Antonio. I mean, they've been rebuilding for years, and you've seen a guy in the prominence that he has, and he is like, they got Wembanyama because of it. So,
Well,
what's the harm in having like one of the best coaches ever tear it down and build it back up and leave it better, quote unquote, than you found it? I know that's going to be a hard thing to do for him.
I think it's the risk involved and the legacy that he's leaving. He doesn't want to risk ruining that legacy. It makes more sense. I don't know. I think maybe Greg Popovich is a little bit nicer than Bill Belichick in the long run.
No, he's
I
a
don't
real
know if
asshole.
that's true. I don't know if
I don't know if that's true
I've
either.
ever met in my entire life.
But yeah, I don't know. I just imagine that he did this experiment with Mac Jones. It didn't work out. They took the rookie, tried to build him up. He sucks dick. Let's go back to the thing that we know and love: experienced, mature, leader, quarterback.
I just don't think they make a short-term move because it's not that type of an organization. This is a franchise that's used to winning it all. So they're not satisfied by making the playoffs. It's all or nothing type of organization. So it's like if you're just going to make the playoffs and you know you're going to run into juggernauts that you're not going to beat, then just scratch the whole thing and just start over.
I mean, if you're talking about the possibility of saying you could get Caleb Williams at the end of the year, I mean, and you have a problem and you have a problem at quarterback and you want to get rid of this, like why not?
I mean, if I was in charge, that's the decision I would make.
It is pretty wild to see, and I know that there's a little bit of concern about whether or not Caleb Williams would actually come out if he doesn't like the team that would be number one overall.
Or maybe
I understand that.
To your point that Caleb Williams might be a little bit more of a handful because he's already trying to call the shots. If they don't get somebody like Caleb Williams, the next best quarterback in the draft is Drake May. I can see him fitting well in New England. Drake May from North Carolina. That's a type of quarterback they can build around. He's like a much better Mac Jones, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
Way better arm. So I can see him missing out on Caleb Williams, but getting Drake May in like the 7th pick of the first round.
Back to the Kirk Cousins idea, too, is, I mean, like, just now, today, they put Justin Jefferson on the IR. So he's out for at least a month. And they're 1-4, right? So, I mean, at that point, what do you do with Kirk Cousins? And I think that does make him a prime candidate to be traded because those rumblings have existed for so long.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past it. This is now the kind of the perfect time to press the reset button for them. But I don't know if it's a press the reset button or try and reboot, refresh, figure it out. But the Dallas Cowboys absolutely get exposed on Monday Night Football.
Completely unexpected.
Yeah.
I thought that would be closer, low. Like, I didn't expect a team to put up 40 points. I thought it'd be closer, a defensive battle, but the Cowboys look like shit.
They look
Cowboys
bad.
suck.
Yeah. They look so bad.
They're frauds.
Do you think Dak's a fraud too?
Yes.
Dak has always been a fraud.
Yeah.
They're all frauds.
He's been saved by his defense every year.
And they have
3
arguably
interceptions last
one of
night.
the best offensive lines. They got Micah Parsons is the only non-fraud on that team.
Well, the guy that got hurt, Trayvon Diggs, he
Yeah,
was a
true.
huge part of that defense.
True.
Yeah, 42 points. And then I got sniped a couple of times because on bets on Monday Night Football because it became such a runaway game that Christian McCaffrey had all these alt rushing yards plus anytime touchdowns for him. I didn't have a winner in the game. I just like attached it to the amount of yards and the anytime touchdown. And he was pulled because the game was so out of hand. So that was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, so Cowboys, you think that was not a fluke situation. The 49ers are just that far above and beyond what the
I think the
Cowboys
49ers are going to be tough to beat.
The only thing that would kill the Niners are injuries.
True.
You lose any of the star power you have on offense, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But as long as you have them and you have a Brock Purdy who is smart enough to not make mistakes, you have enough star power back there that you should be fine. I mean, you don't know who's going to go off. Ayuk could go off. Kittle could go off. Debo.
Kittle went from having 1.9 fantasy points a week prior to a hat trick on Monday Night
That's
Football.
a tough thing with having Niner players in your fantasy is because they pick and choose who's going to go off. Because any of them could go off.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have Debo put up 2 points and then go off for 20 the
Right.
following
Ayuk
week.
has been good. I have him on my fantasy team, and he's been pretty good the last few, and then he just had 10 this past week. So still nothing to sneeze at. But
The Cowboys, though, consistently every year, they've had a pretty decent defense with the exception of this year. It's an exceptional fucking defense that they have until Sunday.
Yeah, with an incredible coach as well.
They're also probably the number one team in the league that consistently has a great offensive line.
Yeah.
The fucking incredible offensive line.
Always a point of emphasis for them.
But you ride somebody like Dak year in and year out, and he can't take you there. It's not him. He can't take you there. If I were you, I'd give it to Pollard every fucking down. Just let him score. Like, let him rush for 2.5, 3 yards a carry. Don't put it on Dak's hands because he's gonna lose the fucking game for you.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush has shown that he can do it, and now they've got Trey Lance as well.
Those two might do a better job.
Who knows? That was quite an interesting. I wonder. You play that game 10 times. How many times are the 49ers winning that game?
7.
4. Or 49ers?
The 49ers, yeah.
At least 6.
At
7.
least 6 or 7 times, yeah.
They're just better. They're better offensively.
Yeah.
Their defense is on par with Dallas, but they're way better offensively, so I don't see
thing
Dallas
is,
pulling it off.
Dallas has to play their best game to beat the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. How much do you think that George Kittle is going to get fined for that fuck Dallas shirt he was wearing?
Worth it. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Tyreek Hill who got fined by the NFL for not wearing socks a couple of weeks ago?
No, he's not been wearing socks all season. You know how much he's been fined for the last 5 weeks? It's over $100,000.
Just for wearing no socks?
He has not worn socks all season, and he's been fined every week, and it sits right now at just over $100,000. And he's proud of it. He doesn't plan on wearing socks. He's gonna keep racking up fines. He doesn't give a shit.
Do that.
Did you see Tyreek's mom, Mama Bear, the hell out of that Dolphins fan? So Tyreek scores a touchdown, and he's trying to give his mom the touchdown ball, but a fan grabs the ball basically out of her hands, and she loses her shit on this.
He
guy.
tried to be slick.
Yeah.
Because he's saying that I'm trying to give it to her. So he moved to the side. And then Tyreek hands the ball.
And then
the guy's
dude
like,
grabs
gotcha.
it. Yeah.
And then he grabs it. So everyone was like,
Bro.
That's his mom.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay.
Don't pull that shit, dude.
He's about to get his ass beat.
Do not, but yeah. Well, who else got their ass beat this past weekend was the Denver Broncos. The Broncos losing to Nathaniel Hackett, the worst coach in NFL history, according to Sean Payton. And I was rooting for the Jets that whole game, and especially Zach Wilson. It was such a bummer that he had thrown that interception right there towards the end of the game. He goes to the sideline and he sit down. The cameras caught him. I don't know if you guys saw that moment where he just goes, fuck me. Because this is like the second week in a row where the possibility that he could lose that team that game. He had fumbled it the week prior and everything. But then Russ ones up him the very next possession. He fumbles it. Jets take it back. They score. They win the game. It was just any other game for the Jets until after the game when you saw everyone just, bear hugging Nathaniel Hackett. It's hard not to root for Nathaniel Hackett in that situation.
He got the game ball.
He got the game ball, and it was very easy to pile on the Broncos in that moment. Very
Broncos
easy.
suck.
They're so bad. And so I was thinking about that. You just go, okay, like you have, the Walmart people who buy it for $4.5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They give away all these draft picks. They give away for Russ. They give away more draft picks for Sean Payton. They give $200 million to Russ. They give $100 million to Sean Payton. They have no draft capital. They have no money. And what do they do? Who's gonna take Russ?
Called a bad investment, Bob.
Yeah, who's gonna take Russ?
No one.
No one.
He did.
I have no idea how they're gonna get themselves out of this.
Remember last week I showed you that wild all underdog parlay that was like a bonus bet for $5 to win $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Guess that was 7. I guess 2 teams let that down, and that was Baltimore, which was Peter's lock.
Yeah,
I won't mention that.
That was lame.
And
I blame Lamar.
Houston. What's Houston doing losing?
Yeah, that was a big old bummer.
Shot him out, and then they fucking lose.
Yeah, Houston, and that was a late. Didn't they lost right at the end of the game? Right,
yeah.
It was a game-winning field goal. So it's a good back and forth game. I actually decided I put a little bit of money on Houston because they were at like plus 112, 120, something like that.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a pretty good bet to be had there. But still looked pretty darn competitive. That was the thing. Like the whole, I know that those games with Baltimore and the Steelers are generally close. However, Lamar throwing that pick at the end of the game, and what's also funny is that everyone's still calling for Matt Canada's head, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, because everyone is saying that Kenny Pickett checked out of Matt Canada's play on that third down to then pass that touchdown. And people are trying to associate this video within the coach's booth. Have you seen this video? Where when Kenny Pickett throws that touchdown, literally everyone is cheering, standing up on their feet, but Matt Canada, because he knows that Kenny Pickett did not checked out of his play. And someone, I think, bumped him, was like, "You're on camera." And then he was like, "Oh, okay, go team."
Who cares? He scored.
Yeah, exactly.
Get over yourself.
But that was a big old bummer there.
What about calling out Joey B and then the Cincinnati Bagels
The Bagels were
with Jamar Chase going off. Is
7-Eleven,
Joey B
always
back?
open.
Did he look good?
I thought that the Bengals looked
Who
a
knows?
whole lot better, and I think
They
there's
look like the Bengals we were expecting them to look this season.
It's kind of like, you just need a good get-right game, and maybe this is the one. Or maybe it was a fluke. Who knows? But, I mean, like, when you go into it, it was a three-point spread, and I remember sitting in these locks where we go, could we bet on the Bengals? I don't know.
That's hard to do until they prove it.
Right,
but
for sure. Hard to do until they prove it. So
True.
We'll have our locks of the week here coming up. I wanted to take a look at the college.
Should we?
We will. Whether or not you choose to fade us or go with us, that will be coming up at the end of the show. I wanted to touch on the college football landscape just to see if we had anything good on the Tyler docket. You have Oregon
all good.
and Washington college game day. Right now, the spread on it, Washington -3, a straight home favorite with those 3 points.
Are there bets
so
that are
basically
gonna be made
even
right now?
between you two? I should sure hope so.
Why are you not participating?
I mean, I'll throw in some money on that. I'll take Oregon.
Oh, it's 2 against 1. I do like DPs.
Double plays.
So you guys are just going in on the half C's on the bet, and I lose 100% of it.
Sure.
What are we doing?
Is it 50, like 25 each?
Deal.
Straight up?
Yeah.
Well, spread.
No.
I'll do straight up. Just do straight up.
Fine.
You're losing half, and you're
Yeah.
still being scaredy
Fine.
cat. So
Fine.
50 against you two?
$50. You
All
want to do
right.
100?
What else we got?
So, I mean, but, okay, so tell me about this, Braxton. How are you feeling about Oregon now? 7 versus 8, college game day. Washington is 0-2 or 0-3 when college game day is there and they're playing Oregon. Something about that.
Is it in
but
Seattle?
It doesn't look good for Washington. Yeah, so it's obviously Michael Penix apparently has overtaken Caleb Williams slightly for possible Heisman odds as well. So he's playing at an all-time level. As just 1 yard shy of 2,000 yards so far this season. But, you've got Bucky Irving in the backfield for Oregon. Bodacious there, slinging the rock.
I'm fairly confident. I'm more concerned about Washington than I am about USC.
Yeah.
I think Washington has a little bit more strength on defense than USC does, but I'm confident. I think this is the real, obviously the real match for Oregon. If they're going to be able to compete in the playoff for the Pac-12 championship, this is the game they need to win.
Over under 67 on this game as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a show. It's going to be a shootout.
I don't think it'll hit that.
You don't? That's a lot, 67.
I think UW defense will hold them.
Yeah, little threat of
20,
rain in
21.
the Northwest this weekend as well, so we'll see.
What's your score prediction?
28-21 Washington.
34-30 Oregon.
Ooh, I'm scared. Go fuck yourself.
I think it'll be 38-35 Oregon.
Yeah, you guys sound real confident. A 4-point win and a field goal.
I mean, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, they're
there's
3-point
no
dogs.
doubt about that. But I'm confident that Oregon can pull it off.
All right. 25 each. They don't have much to lose.
Grambling.
Let's see. That is probably the best game out. Well, you do have the Notre Dame and USC game. Interesting.
Well, Hartman's out, right?
I didn't hear that.
I don't know if he's out. Are you sure?
I just said that.
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that.
I think Notre Dame wins this game.
I do too.
I do.
Oh, another
I do
one?
3.
You want to do another one?
Deal.
We're going another 50,
What's the
25,
spread?
25?
What's the spread?
The spread on this game, you have Notre Dame, a straight 3-point home favorite.
Okay.
And it's in South Bend?
In South Bend.
Are we doing another 50, 25 each?
Yep.
Straight up?
Yep.
That's 100 for me. Saturday. Cool.
So that game is an evening game, 4:30 on NBC. Notre Dame ranked 21st, then USC at 10. Then you have the game that we're going to be at this weekend. Well, actually, one more before we get to the one we're going to be at this weekend is... Oh, where'd it go? Oh, yeah, Miami and North Carolina. Go North Carolina. Then the game that we're going to be at this weekend, Oregon State hosting UCLA, a 3.5-point favorite over under 55. We will be there 25 people strong. So
are the Beavs the favorites?
So Oregon State is a favorite, a 3.5-point favorite. We have been talking about, so we have some extra money that we have from the bachelor party because we had to shift some of our itinerary around. So we have like $400 or something like that?
It's over 500.
It's over
$500. Okay. So we have over $500 that we have all collectively as a 14-person group said we are going to let this ride on a bet. Now, Nat Barker, who has been on this podcast, wanted to put it on the Colorado game a couple of weeks ago. The Oregon-Colorado game, he wanted to take Colorado and the points. Bad idea. However, we did want to put some money on football day because we knew that we were going to be committed to football that day. Makes a lot of sense, I would think. So now we have Oregon State, that 3.5-point favorite. And let's see, I had the odds here if we wanted to go ahead and do that. So, I think the ALNA was giving them 4.5 points.
Mitch has the money, right?
I think Mitch has the money. So at minus 180, Oregon State money line. So $500 would pay $780. If we did Oregon State money line, and then we did over 53 points, that's plus 190. That would 500 would pay out 1490.
I like that.
If we did Oregon minus 4.5, 500 pays 990. And then if we wanted to get real frisky about it, we could do, where is it?
You're wanting to do spread money line and over on the points. So a 3-pick.
I think that if we also did Beavs minus 4.5 over 53.5, that would be plus 260. 500 pays 1,800.
With 3 picks, or those are just 2?
2. So
I say do 3.
What would the 3 picks be?
Beavs money line, Beavs minus 4.5, over 53.5.
Okay.
You're riding them to win. 4.5 is not a deal breaker. You're riding them to win. You can do all 3. I think it'll go 53.5. UCLA could put up points.
Let me see if I can build this on their sports book here. Build your
But
bet.
someone would have to place this bet at a sports book because it's college.
So now if we were looking at, so I had built that a little bit earlier in the week. The line for the over-unders moved up 1.5. We're now at 55. And for whatever reason, it's not letting me also do money line in addition to the point spread here. So if we were to do minus 4 and over 55, that's plus 255 odds. 500 will pay out 1775.
I'm cool with that.
So basically, you triple your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 times.
I say we do it.
So we can propose that within our group. We can also take a couple of looks there, but that is something that we will have an update on. A possible $2,000 return on our investment if we can get everything squared away. And the thing is that like
you're right. That is what gambling is called, investment.
And I think that we don't go terrible long shot, but we don't like go too simple because we've all resigned ourselves to the fact that this money is gone.
Yeah.
Right. So like the idea, like we're not
I'd be
going to
wi-
go like a plus 1,000, but I
I'd
could
be
do
willing
plus
to,
255.
Yeah, I'd be willing to go up to plus 500.
Oh, wild card.
You're trying to do some like quarters play or something like that?
All right, put USC and UW in there.
Oh.
No. No.
That's plus
The Oregon
1,200.
game.
No.
No, but the thing is that you wouldn't want all of a sudden, because there would be a lot of people who would want Oregon to win this game.
By a lot of people, you, Braxton, and Riley.
But there's no way that we
And
would.
Matt.
There's no way that we
And
would want to
Jesse.
be attached to
And
that
Jake.
bet if we said Washington was going to win that game. The better odds are if Oregon was what you wanted to do on that.
Speaking of bets,
Well, yeah. So right before we get to our locks of the week, we
Let's
can go ahead.
actually discuss what the definition of a lock is. We have not done that.
Okay.
What is the definition of a lock?
the bet you are most sure of.
So when that is the definition of a lock, why would you choose the Baltimore Ravens against the Steelers, who's always played tough? Why would you choose the Green Bay Packers away playing in Las Vegas at a 2.5 spread?
Jimmy G was said to be out for that game.
And Kenny Pickett was said to be out for that game as well. So ESPN's Glossary of Common Betting Terms defines lock as a guaranteed win in the eyes of the person who made the wager. So that is...
in my eyes.
In my eyes.
Scary.
And they do, like, I am named Peter, in your eyes like Peter Gabriel, so...
No. In my eyes, a
Your eyes.
losing pick.
Now, here he is talking up a big game. I had basically won every week outside of that crazy Rams one a couple of weeks ago.
The crazy
So
Rams.
we
one.
do have, as you guys start looking up the games of the week, I will go over it. You have the Chiefs and Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Other compelling games that you might see. I'd be interested to see what goes on with the Vikings and the Bears, just the battle of the suckage. Bengals and Seahawks, that's going to be a good game, home game for the Bengals. Cincinnati, a straight -3 at home.
Not a lock.
49ers and Browns, don't you dare bet on that game. Right now, San Francisco, a 5.5 point road favorite.
Brownies.
Here's Braxton's lock. I heard Deshaun's back and they're at home. They usually win after a bad loss.
So Dolphins definitely will win against the Panthers, -13.5, but we will not be betting on that game because it will not. I guess we could bet on that game if we think it's going to be -13.5. So that can be bet if we choose to go with the spread on that one. Colts-Jags, a compelling matchup, albeit you're not going to have Anthony Richardson. Gardner, Magic, Minshew is going to be in the backfield.
But Jonathan Taylor might get more carries.
God, I had Zach Moss on my freaking bench this week.
Dummy.
It was brutal.
You don't even know where Zach Moss went to college.
I don't.
Then why would you?
Do you?
He plays pros. It doesn't matter at this point.
Where'd he go?
Iowa.
Wrong.
Okay.
Also, another dumpster fire game. The Raiders and Patriots should be kind of a fun matchup just to see. You know, you got the Josh McDaniels and the Jimmy G, and then you've got Bill Belichick with Mac Jones, and
Bailey
whether or not,
Zappi.
yeah, well, maybe Bailey Zappi. And then, let's see.
There's not like any
Giants Bills on Sunday Night
exciting
Football.
one.
Cowboys Chargers should be pretty exciting, I think.
So you going
many
over all
prime
these
Monday Night
games,
Football?
basically, the biggest locks we cannot take money line because it's insane. It's
But,
like
yeah.
-900.
Right.
But the spreads are big enough that you would have. It's not a guarantee that one will cover 13 or 14.
Right. Chiefs 10.5 point favorites over the Broncos. Divisional matchup, but maybe you get a little bit of life from the Broncos. So I don't know if I want to go there. I've got to stay away from the Ravens. A
I got mine
4.5
already.
point. A 4.5 point road favorite.
All right. Well, let's start naming them and workshop it.
I like Eagles -7 over the Jets.
Eagles -7, a home -7 over the Jets -108. Interesting because the Jets, they're coming off of a bit of a high in which they won somewhat unexpectedly, and then they do come home. They get a Philadelphia Eagles team, which is undefeated. Kind of a dangerous position to be in at this time of the year when they feel like maybe they could let one off the gas, their foot off the gas. But whoa, spit everywhere on that one. But I could get behind it.
You're taking the Eagles at -7?
Correct.
Here's one that I am intrigued about, but I don't want to get killed for it.
Tell me.
It is the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football.
Oh, my God.
On Monday Night Football.
Against
The Dallas Cowboys.
In both
At
directions,
+110.
neither one is a lock.
So, and we can't. Well, let's see. What do we think about the Bills covering 14 points to the Giants? Giants probably without Daniel Jones.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
And who? Tyrod Taylor?
Mm-hmm. Bills coming off a loss are dangerous.
I got mine.
What's yours?
The Niners -5.5 against the Browns.
Boo.
That's probably the most guaranteed lock there is.
So if I take Miami at -13.5,
Miami?
that puts us at +608 odds. $30 pays $212.43.
I would trust.
He's got it in
I
his
would
eyes.
trust Miami over Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo's not involved.
I'm saying if you're taking the two big favorites, I would trust Miami over Buffalo.
Okay.
The thing too is that I especially wanted this one. I wanted to get it to a point where we eclipsed all the amount of money that we've lost so far. If we ended up winning,
How much have we lost? 4 weeks?
4 weeks we're at 120.
120.
Yeah.
So we lost 120.
So we're at.
But we will be 150 in. Should we win this bet, we would be up $62 at 212 winning.
And then we win that Beavs bet this weekend. We could be gazillionaires. And I'm going to buy a lottery ticket, so.
Dollar menuers.
That's how we do it.
Is that what you're doing?
Eagles -7. 49ers -5.5. Dolphins -13.5.
Place it.
$30 pays $212.43.
Dude, steak dinners.
I know the Brazil or
Fogo.
the Fogo deal is running out soon. We got to go and
That
get
pays
up.
for Fogo.
That does pay for Fogo.
Value menu at $39. Value.
All right, bet is placed. Well, boys,
I'm scared.
go through your emails.
No.
You don't need to tell me that.
I'm gonna email you if we won.
Okay.
You want to know my
I'll see
routine of what I check
Not
on
really.
on
You- sounds riveting. Why don't you tell us by the fire?
a 10-minute increments all day?
Yeah. A bonus episode will be Miguel teaching you how to clear out your email next week on It Just Makes
Not only do I clear everything, I check our doorbell cam consistently every 10 minutes. I check our alarm, even though I know it's locked and it's off.
Clear eyes.
Clear emails.
Full hearts can't lose.